Here's a table setup for the first session of a Castles and Crusades campaign that I ran just this last Saturday. It's made up of Games Workshop stuff, Storm Forge, some homebrew stuff, and I think some other stuff here. I think Galadoria Games, WizKids, little terrain pieces. I had 3 players, and they were playing in my homebrew setting in a new area. In this new campaign, we started it in a different area. It is very Celtic themed, which I'm using this book here from Castles and Crusades, which is a virtual encyclopedia of Celtic lore. So the party, which was they're all first level. A dwarf barbarian, a human wizard, a human rogue, and the wizard had hired a henchman to help him, and he was a human fighter. They left their town, and we had a camping scene encounter where we didn't have a board, but it was probably one of my favorites because they were trying to camp and avoid a really bad thunderstorm and failed miserably. So they had a horrible night spent huddled under their cloaks by a sputtering fire, and it was great because the players really embraced it and made that encounter a lot of fun. But then they got to this temple, and it's the temple to the god Matrona, which is a Celtic god in that book, and I'm using it in my campaign. The rogue scouted ahead through the cemetery and got to the doors and found they were just warped with time. Not locked, but just warped shut over time. So the rest of the party went to join him, and when they did, several skeletons emerged, which they didn't emerge for the rogue because the rogue was really stealthy on his rolls, and they didn't notice him, but the rest of the party wasn't so lucky. So fight there ensued, and they were victorious. They almost lost the henchman. He took a pretty good hit, but he survived, and they made their way inside the temple. And in the temple they found a couple chambers. This chamber here, this other chamber had a sarcophagus in it. They searched it, just found some coin. They're very cautious though, because they know everybody's used to playing 5e, and they know in Castles and Crusades you're a bit more fragile, so especially at first level. So they made their way into the main cathedral, and the dwarf barbarian chucked a skull into the room, and it alerted, and 2 zombies came out of these sarcophagus. And I thought that was going to be a pretty tough encounter, but the rogue, who had liberated a bow from one of the skeletons in the cemetery, got the first critical hit of the game, and using some of the optional rules in the Castle Keeper's Guide, took it out 1 hit. And then the barbarian charged the second one after, I believe, the wizard hit it with a firebolt spell, softened it up a little bit, and he rolled very well too, and beheaded it with 1 swing. Still cautious now, especially with 2 zombies that burst out of nothing. They wanted to make their way to this 3rd sarcophagus, and the barbarian was chucking skulls and zombie parts, trying to alert anything. He didn't, so him and the rogue went up to this sarcophagus. And when they opened it, a ghost came out, and this ghost was a female cleric who was one of the defenders of this place when it fell to goblins, and she requested them to find the idol of Matrona and return it, and then she could be put to rest. So, and they agreed to do that, and that's where the session ended, and that's where we'll pick up next time. This campaign is going to be run in a West Marches style, so I'll hopefully have more of my group join the next game session, and get more of them in on the campaign. But so far it's a lot of fun. Really liking Castles and Crusades. It's a nice change of pace from 5th edition. Thanks.